All right, we'll go ahead and get started.
While most people celebrate
Shut up. In 3, 2. Hey, what's up, you guys? Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're celebrating a big out here in Pensacola. Caleb, why'd you sleep in, dude? Why did you sleep through our show?
Because I went out last night for St. Pat. Well, I went to work. Then my wife was already downtown at like 8 o'clock in the morning and was like drinking. So I met up with her after work. I got out like at 12:30, 1-ish, got downtown, stayed there till like 5, 6, came home, then went back out with friends at like 8. And she drank like the whole morning. So she was down for the count. She didn't go back out with us. And I don't drink, but I'm apparently just old as shit because if I stay out after 1, I just can't wake up.
So did you not have any drinks?
No, none. I had water.
There you go. Yeah, I went out this morning. Well, it's our friend Summer's birthday, and also Pensacola Beach. Anytime we got an excuse to drink out there, people go crazy. So we got out there at like 9:45, 9:50 this morning. And Crabs, which is, just another seafood restaurant out there on the beach. There was probably 1,000 people in there this morning, all dressed in green, all drinking Irish wakes and fucking green Jello shooters and stuff. And I was like, this is going to be a problem. Like, if I hang out here too long, I'm not going to be able to get back because I've got this show, which I was looking forward to. I've got my buddy Ray coming over at 2 o'clock. I've got my friend Anna coming over at 4:30. And I had like 2 or 3 mimosas and a green Jello shot. And I knew if I continued to drink, I was just going to fall asleep when I got home. So I had to get back here.
Yeah, downtown Denver was, pretty extreme. Like people were like lowering buckets with Jello shots like from the apartment complexes, and yeah, it was pretty insane. Like there was a lot of puke and a lot of people falling over.
See, we got out of there before that happened, but I was telling Victoria, I was like, it's going to just be a sad sight at 3 o'clock this afternoon when everybody's fighting and lost their keys and everything else.
Well, I don't know about you two. Now I don't drink, so I was walking downtown and I hear, "Hey, Caleb," because I was going to meet my wife, and I turn around and there's a couple dudes I know. And then they're like, "Hey, I know this DJ who works for the Denver radio station. He's DJing here." So we went there. And then by the time I met up with my wife, I brought a group of guys with me. I was like, "Hey," she's like, "You can't show up anywhere alone, can you?" I was like, "I don't know. It wasn't planned. I just ran into people." And then we just kept going, but everybody was drinking but me. And most of my friends were drinking very responsibly, but there's always a couple that get a little too saucy. I know I'm no judgment. I used to be that guy, but when you're the sober one trying to wrangle, like 15 drunk people, it's a little exhausting.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's got to be like, it's an interesting kind of bird's eye view of what you used to look like, though.
Oh yeah, it makes you go, man, was I this horrible? I'm like, yeah, I was worse.
Well, we got some cool topics we're going to talk with you guys about today. As always, we're going to start with some weird news. Then we're going to talk about some stuff going on in Florida. Caleb's brought a topic. I've brought a topic. And we're going to go ahead and dive in. To keep it separate and kind of consolidated from the shit we normally talk, I did want to just take a second to say condolences to all of the people in New Zealand. That shit is horrible, and our hearts and thoughts are with you guys. But let's go ahead and put a cap on that and move on because we're not normally good at being sincere.
I think we're kind of good sometimes.
I'm not good at being sincere. Yeah, it's just crazy. But so the first weird news headline that I got, and I don't think I sent this one over to you, but it was pretty cool. A guy was arguing with his neighbor, somebody that he actually knows, and the headlines from Huffington Post, it says, "Man's mobile phone protects him from arrow attack." So the guy was having an altercation with his neighbor who I guess was brandishing a bow and arrow. It escalated, so the guy took out a cell phone to videotape it to document him, and the dude fired the bow and arrow straight at him. So he shielded himself with his iPhone and it went straight through the phone, which kind of whacked him in the face, but it saved him from getting shot through the chest with an arrow.
Holy shit. First of all, who's firing arrows at people?
That's old school, right?
I know, that's some crazy ass shit. Where was this at?
Australia.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I think they fire They're lucky it wasn't a boomerang that went towards his head.
Yeah, those are a little harder to block. A little harder to block if they got the right kind of posture.
Yeah, I feel like for me in my head, everyone in Australia still uses bows, arrows, and boomerangs. You know, like I kind of want it to be like crocodile. What's his name? Crocodile
Crocodile
Dundee.
Dundee.
Yeah, that's kind of what I picture in my head. Even though I know that's so not what it is, but I don't want people to ruin my fantasy.
No, no, we'll stick with that. That's a good vision to have. I think this is a crazy story. Like he would have gotten killed. I guess this town is Nimbin, and it has a reputation for being the marijuana capital of Australia. So maybe it was a drug deal gone wrong. It's described as naughty Nimbin by some locals.
I just think it's the funniest. If it was a drug deal gone wrong where he fired a bow and arrow, that's insane to me.
It's cold blooded, dude. Fucking
That
cold
is
blooded. So they
that's
arrested the
insane.
guy, and obviously they're gonna charge him with something. I don't think it was assault with a deadly weapon. It was
Like attempted murder or attempted manslaughter or something like that.
charged with assault and property damages. I mean, I guess the assault encompasses it. Property damage just seems like not as important at this point.
He'll be like, I was aiming for his phone. That's his excuse. I'm just a hell of a shot.
That's fucking wild, dude. The arrowhead on it's interesting too. It's like it's not. It doesn't look sharp. It's not got barbs on it. It's like a little peg almost, but it definitely went straight through that phone.
Oh yeah. Is it like the ones that yeah, there's almost not an arrowhead. They're just like it almost looks like the arrow just ends with a little metal tip. Is it that?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I've
Yeah.
never seen one. You ever shot a bow before?
No, I have not. Like a kid's bow when I was a child, but like I've always wanted to fire. No, I lie. I have fired a bow and arrow. In like middle school, they brought bow and arrows, like hunting bows, and they set up targets like in PE or something. They let us fire them. That shit was hard as hell.
Yeah, I shot a compound bow one time, and like when it pops back out, you know, you pull it back, you draw it, and then you release to fire the arrow. And when it came back, it just dragged all the way down my forearm and gave me the nastiest, almost like a rope burn all the way down my arm. That shit hurt so bad. And that's the first and only time I ever did it. I was like, fuck this.
That's what we fired. It was a compound bow, I'm pretty sure, but like it didn't hit my arm, luckily. But I remember it did hit some kids' arms.
Ouch. Yeah, not fun. All right, well, let's see. Woman almost dies from stroke
this is
triggered
so
by
good.
oral sex. That's one you shot over to me. Do you got that open?
Yeah, and so this one was one of those ones I just as soon as I heard the headline, like a woman almost dies from oral sex. My first thing was she giving or receiving? So she was receiving oral sex. So a British
didn't
woman
choke on
had to
it.
go, huh?
I said no. She didn't choke on it. If that's what you
I
guys
know. I
are
was
wondering.
like, I was like, man, what is this guy packing down there that's giving her a stroke? But apparently it's not. Apparently his tongue game is off the charts because this comes via HuffPost. A British woman had to go to the hospital after an intense impending orgasm triggered a stroke. According to a news report from the British Medical Journal, the unidentified 44-year-old woman suffered a transient loss of consciousness (TLOC) while receiving oral sex sex from her partner. After the woman was unconscious for 2 to 3 minutes after sex, her partner got nervous and took her to the emergency room at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, London. Once there, the man told doctors his partner's body had gone stiff during their session.
Jesus.
That's fucking terrifying. The woman told doctors she had a headache and she described as a 6 out of 10 on the pain scale.
Well,
So the doctors later learned that she had experienced a blackout caused by a sudden lack of blood supply to the brain, also known as a reflex meditated. So essentially, it was so good, the blood rushed out of her body to her privates, and she had a stroke.
holy
you know,
shit.
Like, that is insane and terrifying. I was just like, I don't know what I would do if my wife had a stroke during orgasm. I'd be like worried and proud all at the same time.
You get to the doctor and you're like, it's not that big a deal. You know what I mean?
I'm like, you see what I did? You see my handiwork there? Like, dude, this is serious. I get that.
It's
But-
crazy.
No, I didn't even know this was like a possible thing.
No, it
This,
makes sense now that like after hearing about it, like you're right on the verge of climaxing and something happens to where I don't know. I've never heard of it happening either, but can you imagine though, like being the guy that was known for giving killer head, like oh yeah, she totally died. What happened? Oh, it was going down on her and she couldn't handle it. Yeah, that sounds like a weird alibi.
I would want to partake in.
Yeah.
Like if a
Holy
woman was
shit.
like, "Man, my head game's so strong, I'm giving two different men strokes," I'd be like, "I'm good." Like I'm not.
Yeah, we don't get the whole picture though. I don't know this lady's medical history, but she straight up had an aneurysm from it. So, yikes.
That reminds me of a story. Do you remember years ago, like it made the rounds of the woman who like had there's a medical condition where she had constant orgasms, like really intense ones, like every like 2 minutes?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, it was a couple of years ago in the video. It's one of those things you almost feel bad laughing at because it's funny for a second, but then you're also like, this is horrible. So like she gets like an orgasm every couple of minutes and like super intense to the point where like she just can't stop. And she's like crying while she's having them because she's just like, I'm so sick of them. It's not pleasurable anymore. It's to the point of pain where I just have them every like couple of minutes.
I'm trying to look it up as we talk about it.
Yeah.
That's a crazy freaking story. It sounds great in theory.
Yeah, but then you think like, no, like imagine just she talks about like she'll be sitting at her job and she'll just like start moaning and like squirming all weird, just randomly throughout the day. Like it's one of those things. It's funny, but then you're like, no, it's a horrifying medical condition.
Yeah, and it just like takes I mean, like, what's the point in sex anymore at that point?
Oh, you would never want to have sex. I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, please, God, no.
I haven't found that one particular study yet, but it's amazing what you can turn up with a quick Google search of women with intense orgasms.
I'm sure it's very varied what you get.
Who orgasms most and least, and why? What does that mean? Who the most, who the least? Let me see if I can pull up some sort of
Yeah, I'm
chart
very
here.
curious to see what this is gonna research is gonna entail. I know that they say if you're a man, masturbating is good for prostate cancer.
Is that right?
Yeah, apparently something with the more you come is like the better for you.
Oh, word. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Apparently it wasn't good for thyroid cancer because I still got that shit.
Lesbian women orgasm more often than heterosexual women, but less often than men. Okay. All
Okay.
groups of men, gay, bisexual, heterosexual, orgasm more than all groups of women. Well, that makes
That makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
I mean, especially considering the female orgasm it's a myth.
It's a myth.
No.
I don't think it's a myth. That might be a you thing.
All right. I'll cut that out in post. No big deal. All right. What else? What else? Thrift shop warns furniture may be haunted. Did you see this?
Yeah. Yes, this is unreal. Do you believe in ghosts? I think we had this conversation before, right?
I don't. I
Oh, you
don't.
don't. That's what it was.
No,
Yeah.
you don't either.
No, I do
No,
not.
we're grown, logical adults.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
guys.
apparently we're in the it seems like I'm in the minority every time I bring this up. People are like, "You don't believe in ghosts?" I actually had this conversation last night.
With one of your guy friends?
Yeah, him and his girlfriend.
All right, so we'll get into that in a second. The Habitat for Humanity Restore of Rowan County posted photos to Facebook showing a queen canopy bed frame and a highboy chest of drawers that the previous owners said were haunted. So the post included a photo and a note that said, "Please note previous owners reports that the highboy is haunted. He reports continuous nightmares, and he and his wife are when they're in the room with it. He also reports the dogs would not stop barking at it."
I've noticed this too. This is a very common thing, and this actually brought up last night. Anytime someone's dog freaks out, they're like, it's haunted. I'm like, they're dogs. Like the dumb shit they do, you really can trust their intuition on anything?
They're just really intuitive, man.
They can test. I'm like, they could have just heard something weird or smelled something weird or literally nothing. They just decide to act up and start barking.
So I just want, like, was it a marketing technique? Were they trying to fucking exploit the SEO, or do you think they were just being considerate?
I don't know because it's it's a weird thing to put out there, but I know people who believe in ghosts, and they would do something like this, like just to be considered, like, hey, it could be haunted, you know? And, like,
They want $1,000 for it from Goodwill, so I mean, like, I would almost rather it be haunted.
no, exactly. If I'm paying $1,000 for a piece of furniture, like, there better be some, like, sing Casper better come out of that bitch and sing to me.
So okay, you were talking to your friends last night. How did this go about?
So they moved into this apartment downtown that's like halfway being renovated. Very nice, but it's an old hospital. So my friend was like, "Hey, I want to take you to the floors that are not finished being um being renovated." He's like, "They're super creepy." I actually posted a picture of one of the creepy doors. It was kind of creepy. It was in the basement, and it was like this old door with a padlock on it, and like it used to be an electronic door, but the electronic parts was like ripped out,
Oh
and
yeah.
it was in the basement. It was pretty creepy. Um, but he was like, I took the dogs up there, and they started barking. And I'm like, well, they were dogs, they didn't know. And then when I went up there, I heard a cat behind one of the doors because there's still rooms that are rented out, you
Yeah,
know? And I'm like, well, maybe they smelled that cat or heard something you didn't hear, because there's obviously a cat in one of these apartments.
sure.
I'm like, that could have triggered it. But we went there and it was like old hospital tile and like chunks of brick wall. And it looked and there was some graffiti. Honestly, it looked like a trap house. It looked like someone was just going to sell some like meth out of there.
Right, yeah.
Like, and he was like, is it? And then even he was like, okay, maybe it isn't that creepy. Once I went with these, like, dude, I swear it'll be creepy. And I was like, dude, it's not. And then I walked through and I'm like, dude, it just looks like it looks like the trap. That's all it looks like. It looks like a projects.
It's really scary when you're hyping yourself up, telling yourself there's fucking ghosts around the corner.
That's what it is. It's mental. It's like you've already been like, oh, this used to be a hospital. It's haunted, and then a light flickers, and you're like, see, or you're like,
Mm-hmm.
or more realistically, a light flickered. You know,
Yeah, 100%. There's actually a place, it's called Ozone Pizza here in Pensacola, and it used to be a hospital. Same kind of deal. You go down these long corridors to go to the bathroom, and people love going into there and kind of talking about the history of the place. And then the Pensacola Little Theater, where I actually host the film festival for Pensacon, they are... the lobby of this theater has a roof on it now, but it used to be the courtyard, so they would do public hangings in the lobby of the Pensacola Little Theater. So, there's the historical context makes shit creepier, like old war sites, Civil War battlegrounds, and all of that kind of stuff. If there is a haunted place, I would imagine those would be the kind of places that are there. And I don't want to say 100% there's no ghost. I mean, like,
I'll say 100%,
100%.
110%. We'll up it.
What about if it's not the way that we perceive ghosts, but it's like multiple different levels of reality converging?
You've been watching too much Alex Jones.
What if the lizard people have implanted it into our brains?
And there's this technological race, and it's another dimension, and that's what ghosts are.
I don't know, man. I want to give people. I don't know. I think most of the experiences that we have with UFOs and ghosts are just misidentifications, just like what you said. But if there's a person out there that swears they saw a ghost, I haven't, so I can't really speak to their experience. But I kind of like the idea of there being ghosts.
I've told you my ghost story where I saw a ghost in my bedroom.
No, maybe you did, and I forgot. Let's hear
I
it.
did. So I was a kid, and there was a blue light on my computer because I had a computer in my room when I was like 15, and there was a chair right next to a computer chair, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and the blue light was around someone's outer body. I could see light going around like a human shape, and I rubbed my eyes, and it was gone. And then I was like, well, I obviously was half asleep, half in a dream, and then my eyes were like in that weird waking up state.
Mm-hmm.
If that was someone else, they'd be like, I saw a ghost in my house. No, I didn't. I was tired.
So, I mean, do you think it's weird because I've even talked to people that are like religious and they think that ghosts are kind of ridiculous, but isn't ghosts like a big part of what religion is in a way?
I mean, souls, yeah, and spirits, yeah, but I mean, I'll be honest, not well versed in enough religion to be talking on that, I guess. But do people really believe a lot of times that souls stay behind and get stuck? Don't they just believe, especially Christians, that you either go to heaven, hell, or purgatory?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. This person says we're a Christian ministry. We don't say we believe in ghosts or don't, but I have trouble selling this to someone not disclosing that. I would want to know as a customer. So I mean, that's kind of a question. Like, if somebody heard that it was haunted, do you think that they owe it to the person buying it from them to let them know?
No, because then it'll be haunted to them too. Because it didn't know, it's not going to be haunted. It's just going to be a piece of furniture.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't even, I don't know, if a person got murdered in a house and you were going to rent the house, would you want to know it then?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. As long as they painted the walls and ripped out the carpet, I'm good.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask. In one way, I kind of feel like I would want to know. But if we don't have those kind of superstitions or those kind of like thoughts, then what difference does it make if somebody died in there or not, I guess?
Well, I live in a house that was like built in like the 40s. Guarantee you people have died in this home.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like whether it's natural causes or horrible, someone's died in here. Guaranteed in most apartment not most, like all apartment complex, someone's died in there. You know, whether it's, I mean, shit, I've seen people get murdered. You know what I mean? And they didn't follow my spirit because I was close by. They didn't follow
Yeah.
my, you know, I just don't believe in any of that stuff. It doesn't psych me out. And that's probably why I've never seen anything, because I just don't believe in it. And the only people who, it's like a chicken and egg scenario where I actually think but you can trace it back. The superstition begins before a ghost sighting, not after. You
So
know,
you don't think there's non-believers that convince themselves? I mean, there would have to be, but it's the outlier, not the rule.
well, and I would say even those people, they see something weird, and then instead of logically thinking through it, or they talk to someone, or they watch something, they're like, "Well, that makes a lot of sense,"
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
instead of just looking at it as objectively as humanly possible. I don't know.
So
Ghosts are one of those things I just don't believe in even a
no.
tiny bit.
No, I'm with you. And we live in an apartment complex now, and I remember being in the living room watching TV one night, and there was a lot of commotion going on. We could hear sirens, all that kind of shit, and that's not normal for our neighborhood. But anyways, I looked through the peephole because I could hear people coming and going next door, and sure enough, they brought one of our old neighbors out in a body bag. I didn't know the lady, but she literally lives the door across from us, and now there's like this young, pretty cool family that lives in there, but like you don't want to drop that revelation on them, you know what I mean?
I agree, because someone might be superstitious and it might bother them. Like if I was next to you and you're like, "Oh man, the previous owner died," I'd be like, "Oh, that sucks." You know, like like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like, but it wouldn't bother me. You know.
Yeah, I wonder if it would bother me because I lived in a house downtown that was built in 1907 and
Mhm.
it definitely had some history, but yeah, it never really occurred to me. And we did talk about your encounter before because it was kind of in the same conversation that we were talking about sleep paralysis, which is
Mhm.
another one of those things. I think for thousands of years, people have thought that sleep paralysis was an actual,
Demon.
yeah, paranormal experience type thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's not in my experience. Then again, I don't believe in UFOs in the way that we conventionally. Now, I do believe in aliens, but I don't believe that people are seeing and experiencing aliens.
I'm on the same page 100% with you on that. I believe absolutely in aliens, but again, that's never been proven. I just think the I think to think we're the only thing that life, even advanced life, out of all of this has come up is pretty arrogant, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've had contact with them.
No, and just not in the way. It's just strange. This whole premise of them like pulling up only the most uneducated hicks from the most rural fucking areas in the country. It's like, why is it always you guys? Are you sure that it wasn't your buddies that probed you and this is the best way that you can like reconcile it in your mind? It's like, it could not have been a gay experience that I had when I was drunk with my buddies at the campfire last night.
It's never like someone of something and something law firm, you know?
Astrophysicist abducted by gray aliens.
Yeah, like it's never that. It's always some redneck dude who's like, I was out in the middle of the woods in my pickup truck and I was drinking and you're like, man, you guys really just all follow the same formula. The only
Yeah.
thing is maybe there's aliens and they just fuck with people. I think it's hilarious.
They're like, hey, what are you doing tonight? You want to go pick up another one of those rednecks from Kentucky and butt fuck them?
They're like, and then we'll send them out and we'll just watch the other humans who aren't trashy laugh at them.
Yeah. Also, I should clarify. I think you probably are on the same page, but I do believe in UFOs, guys. If you've seen some shit and you couldn't identify it, I totally agree with you. But it does not make it an alien.
It's, I think, more likely it's something government would be
Yeah.
much. Even then, I don't know, but that's a very more, I think, probable.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think that it would probably make that item more desirable to a certain group of people.
Speaking of aliens, did you see this monkey that looks like an alien?
Oh my god, dude, I did.
Oh my God. There's this monkey, muscular monkey that looks like a bodybuilder leaves zoo visitors stunned. So this is in Helsinki, Finland. And oh my God, this thing is the most muscular monkey I've ever seen. It's was it a white-faced um so I'm gonna, the story comes via mirror.co.uk. Santorini Oksanen 34 snapped this pumped up primary while it kept a close eye on its territory. It's this. It doesn't look real. Like the first time I saw the pictures, I thought I was being trolled. I'm like, this looks like a Photoshop job. It's muscles on top of muscles.
Is it yoked or is it just its fur pattern?
That's a good point. I think it's huge, but
It does.
yeah,
Man, I googled other pictures of this monkey. I was like, that's just the way the monkey looks. And no, they don't look like that at all. So I don't know, man. It might. How is the monkey getting so jacked at the zoo, though? I guess it's just like, I would love to get there and just see it like in the middle of its workout regimen. And this is a female monkey. They're called white-faced sakis. I don't know, but it's Saki. And the males have actual white faces where hers is like a brownish beige color. And they are all way smaller than this thing, dude. It does. It looks like it has been juicing ever since it got put in the zoo.
it looks like when you see videos or pictures of like genetically engineered cattle
Yeah,
and they've been like pumped up.
that
Like
is
that's what
what
it
it
looks
looks like.
like
No
where someone's
shit.
been injecting something into it. I don't know, man. This is like a Ninja Turtle one. Like there's some mutagen that's been put in this damn monkey. It's unreal. I love the line too. It says, this primate, it's so cheesy. This primate looks like it's been doing some serious pull ups on the monkey bars. That's so bad that I love
Eh. Okay, this person says, "Is that the next contestant for Love Island?" I don't know what that is.
it. What, Love Island?
Yeah, I don't know what that. Then this person says, "The world's first trans monkey." Comment sections are great. Let's see, Love Island. I need to look what that is. And then this says, "The missing link from Essex." I don't get
This
any
is
of
all,
these.
all British shit that
Yeah,
we are not culturally aware of.
yeah, that is what it is. Love
Yeah,
Island.
because one of my friends, she's from Essex, and she'll make like Essex jokes, and I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm sure that's funny to somebody.
Yeah, someone out there was like, that is brilliant. At first,
There is that movie
it does,
coming out called The Missing Link. That's a Leica movie, and it kind of looks like that.
does it?
Nah, I mean a little bit. I don't know, man. That shit is crazy looking. I don't know how
What
big it is.
do you think you could, even if let's say it's like 3 feet tall, do you think you could take this thing in a fight?
If it was 3 feet tall, I
Yeah.
would I would like to think that life would find a way. I would like to think that I could get one over on it, but at the same time, like it's got a real intense, just like it looks like it would win just confidence alone. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating, isn't it? This guy looked like he's like prison built. Like he's just hanging out in the car lifting weights all day.
I gotta
I
find
don't
out
think
how
I could
big
take
they
him.
are.
Like I don't think I could take him. I think he'd rip my jaw off, or she would rip my jaw off.
They're about the size that you. Well, they're only like a foot tall. I would fuck that thing up, bro.
You're like, I don't think so, dude. I think that little monkeys like jump on people and steal their cell phones and beat them up and all that stuff. Like, imagine this little thing. I don't think anyone could take it.
Ah, man, they are cool looking monkeys. I wouldn't mind smuggling one of those. What we were talking about doing with them to steal cell phones or some shit.
Yeah, that's your service animal. Just bring that up. My service animal slash bodyguard.
It's like a mix between a monkey and a pit bull.
It is. It's very pit bull the way it like stands.
Yeah, man, that thing is
Love it.
wild. All right,
I
thank
love
you,
it.
Mirror. Thank you, Mirror UK, for your look at this. Where did you say it was from? Like Finland or some shit?
Finland, yeah,
Whatever they're doing to that monkey. Let's
it's
see
too
here.
much.
Dude, my cat is going nuts, dude. I don't know what the deal is, but ever since I got home, he's just been meowing nonstop. And I can't let him outside because yesterday he like ripped through the bottom seam of the screen on my porch and just let himself out. I was like, you little fucker.
I know why he's freaking out, man. It's
Why?
because your neighbor died next door and he's sensing the
The
spirit.
ghost. That's a good point, man. Ever since we started talking about ghost.
He's like, you motherfuckers, I know what's going on here and you're taking it too lightly.
Oh man, let's see. The burly beast is native to South America, and Santeri at the zoo believes that she might be one of the dominating mothers of the troop. So apparently, dominating mother is a thing in this species of monkey.
I think dominating mother, I think, can be a species and a trait of our species too. I've met a couple of them.
All right, let's go ahead and move into what the Florida. Florida man comes home for lunch and finds an iguana in his toilet.
Why? What is wrong with you guys in reptile?
Dude, this thing is big too, and it's really green. Like really green. And I've lived here all my life, and I don't think these are wild, but they called the authorities, probably like animal control, and they just took the iguana and let it go outside.
This is wild to me. Like it was just chilling. How did it get in? Did it crawl up through? Is that how it was in the sewer?
It makes no sense. That's what I was really wondering, because it doesn't say how it got in, and it's too big. Did you see the picture of it?
No, I didn't.
I guess it could have crawled through the bottom, because we were talking about Australia and pythons and snakes the other day. This is kind of a similar deal, but I don't know if somebody let themselves in and put it in the toilet. To be honest, for all I know, the dude did it himself. You know what I mean?
That's what I was just gonna say. Is this guy like it's been a little slow week in Florida. Let me throw an iguana.
The homeowner first called the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Committee or Commission, which said it doesn't respond to that type of incident. So the man called 911. He came home for lunch, freaked out, and didn't know what to do, said Fort Lauderdale Fire Rescue Battalion Chief Stephen Gullen. And then they, of course, tweeted it. Can you imagine lifting the toilet seat and finding this a big old green lizard in your toilet? Upon arrival, the owner stated that when they went to use the restroom, they found the lizard in the toilet. Our crew members took the lizard outside and released him without harm. Dude, so now, and I don't know that they're even like I don't think iguanas are native to Florida, but like all of these tropical animals, they survive in our climate. So we've got like pythons and boa constrictors and iguanas and shit that just should not be here, probably messing up our whole ecosystem.
Like someone introduced them and then they just ran wild.
Yeah. Like shitty pet owners or people that wanted to do it, they'll like buy ball pythons and just let them go.
Why would someone do that? Do you think someone? Yeah, I guess someone could have done that.
I don't know. How would I look that up?
It's kind of like the wild hog epidemic in America. They're like all these Russian wild hogs in like Arkansas and shit that are massive. And they're not from here. They're like a Russian breed that then breeded with an American breed, and now they're like unstoppable forces of nature.
How crazy is that? I remember like the Africanized bees in Texas. They were like genetic crossbreeds, and apparently people thought it was going to be a real big problem, but I've never seen one.
No, I mean, maybe I've seen one, but like, weren't they killing people for a while? Those ones, the
I
African bees.
I think so. I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know how many people, but yeah, I think so. Okay, so exotic creatures and vegetation, from iguanas to Burmese pythons to lionfish and air potato vines, threaten native species and cause serious economic damage, says the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Hundreds of native species on the endangered species list, but then there's several that are obviously not native to here, and yeah, iguanas are on the top of the list.
It, it's just, I think you're right. I think it's something to do with your guys' like, swampy climate that it just is. It's perfect breeding ground for all the like grossest shit.
Like the most gnarly animals of all
Yeah,
species.
it's like stuff that would not survive in like out here where I'm at, and because of the cold and everything, they flourish where you're at.
There's a lot of stories. Like I heard a couple of messed up ones when I was looking for Florida man studies, and there's just a lot of stuff we don't. Excuse me, Florida man stories, not studies. There's a lot of shit we don't want to touch just because it's like it's just gonna bring down the fun of the whole show. And as I'm scrolling through the South Florida Sun Sentinel, I see Indiana man accused of killing and eating his ex-girlfriend, but he's found fit to stand trial. And that's all we're gonna talk about on that one.
Whoa,
But Jesus Christ, the
he
fuck's the
killed
matter with
his
people?
ex-girlfriend and ate her.
Yeah. All right. You asked for it. Let's see what else is going on here.
Yeah, now you can't
Oh.
just drop that bomb and then just leave it.
It's just not a fun story. Well, let's see. Indiana
It's one of those
man's
things I feel like I could make it fun, but then I'd feel like a complete piece of shit for making fun of something where a person got eaten.
that kind of makes you an accomplice in a way. You
I
might
don't
as
think
well have taken a bite out of her.
I don't think that's how it works.
Well, to each their own. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story here.
This is the Florida man robs store dressed as Spider-Man.
I'm really glad you brought this one.
This is such a good one. So, a Florida man is behind bars after robbing a store disguised as Spider-Man. Deputies said a man showed up unmasked to a Winn-Dixie wine and spirit store in Castleberry, Florida on January 2nd. Um, so, for the thing that I like is he walks in, looks around, he leaves. So, he's already on camera. Then he returns. This time, he's wearing a Spider-Man mask. Police say that Edward Wilburn stole nearly $150 in liquor and $420 in Newport cigarettes.
Wow.
Wilburn was arrested back in January. He is a repeat offender, according to the Seminole County Sheriff's Office.
He looks like a
Did you see the
real
picture?
idiot. Yeah, I'm sitting here watching the video right now, and he's got this real cool swagger. Like when he walks, he swings his arms like way the fuck out to the side, which is it's inconsequential to the story. But when he comes back, he's not dressed like Spider-Man. That's generous. He's dressed like Miles Morales in that one scene in Spider-Man where they're like all standing out on the road. You know what I'm talking about?
Picks up the Halloween mask and he has like the big
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
literally almost that exact mask.
It is. It's like he's just got a red shirt on. I see him. He's grabbing Grandma, Grand Marnier orange liqueur, which is pretty good, and Newport cigarettes. That is classic Florida man.
That was the part of the story that made me the happiest because I was like, I just picture, of course, he stole Newports.
Yeah, you can fetch a mint for those once he gets arrested and put back in jail.
Exactly. Like he couldn't even have sold like, Marlboros or anything, but it had to have been Newports.
And I wonder if they slid in the $420 in
I
Newport
know,
cigarettes, or
420.
was it really that many? I don't even know how you break that down. So let's see, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. Okay, so each pack of cigarettes averages at $7 a piece, and you still, how many would you have to steal?
At 7 times 420. Well, God, I'm horrible at math.
Yeah, never, a lot. You'd have to
And that's
steal a
7,
lot.
right?
Huh?
7. So 7 times 7, right? Or what is that? No.
It's 7 times 6, I think. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. Okay, so
Yeah,
7 times 60. It would be 60 pack of cigarettes.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Well, he didn't make it far.
no, he was. I just don't understand, like, walking into a place and going, yeah, I'm just going to walk back out and come in with a mask and no one's going to know it's still me.
Idiot. And it's obviously in a strip mall, too, if it's a Winn-Dixie. Those things are not normally, like, freestanding with no other businesses attached to them, like a Publix or something like that.
Oh, is that what they are? Because I've never heard of a Winn-Dixie. So
Oh,
they're like
yeah.
strip mall?
Winn-Dixies are, yeah, they're grocery stores that are connected to normally, like, well, back in the day, like a Radio Shack and, like, a Vicks dry cleaner or something like that. A bunch of shit that's not around anymore.
So they're not. I thought they were just a liquor store. They're an actual grocery store.
They are always connected to the grocery store
Oh,
because
okay.
Winn-Dixie is a grocery store, but for some reason, and I think you told me the same thing about Colorado, like a lot of places can't sell liquor in grocery stores,
Yep.
so they'll put them right next door. That
Okay.
dude just takes off running out the door.
I can't. I just would love to hear. I sometimes when I read these Florida man stories, I would just love to like for hear their inner monologue while
Yes.
they're doing this.
Yeah, that for sure. And then also, I wish that smaller news publications would not turn their comment section off. I want to hear from the people.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I can't think of the good fucking burns for these people, but somebody funnier than me could.
man, I just back down. There's so many more Florida man. Another one we won't touch, but Florida man expected to plead guilty in mailing of bombs to leading Democrats.
I saw that one too. Yeah.
Oh, man. Just like so many that are coming up.
This one was good. There's a Maryland man who was arrested after bragging about being wanted for attacking a pelican in Florida.
Nice.
This
Everyone
fucking guy.
still tied to Florida.
He came down here on vacation and he sees a pelican, so he lures it in with food and dives off the pier and tries to land on the pelican. The pelican attacked him and escaped unharmed. So, I mean, what are you bragging about?
I don't get. First of all, why would you even attack a pelican? Like, I don't understand. Again, and then why would you brag about it? Like that's not a story. Like, you don't go to a bar and go, you know what's going to get me laid tonight? That pelican story.
Yeah. I mean, it nipped at me and got away unharmed, but I was really tough. Like, I antagonize birds, poor defenseless animals. I just fucking bother
Do they have a
them.
picture of this guy?
Huh?
Do they have a picture of this guy? By
Yeah,
chance?
yeah. They
Does he look
do.
like?
He looks a lot more normal than you would think.
Broy is what I picture.
He
like,
looks a little broy. He does.
Okay.
He's got facial hair and short hair. He's like more clean cut than what you normally. He doesn't have a mullet. He's more clean cut than what you normally see in a Florida man mugshot. And he's got like a Marlin shirt on. So like,
okay.
I don't know, man. These kind of people fucking piss me off. There was one guy that saw a manatee off the side of a pier and decided he was gonna like jump off on top of the manatee's back and fucked it up, you know?
Why would like what is? I don't understand the end game in any of this.
I think they do it for the fucking the likes on social media or something. I don't know, man, because normally they end up getting raked through the coals if they post that kind of shit.
I think they're just a lot of douchebags who like, I think we've all known those people in our life are complete douchebags and they do douchey things. And they're like, isn't that funny? And you're like, you're acting like a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah,
40 years
100%.
I think it's just those type of people. But I kind of want to go on a tangent for like 2 seconds
Yeah,
about
please.
mullet. Is the mullet still a thing in like Florida? Do you still really see mullets?
Yeah. They're not quite on the endangered species list yet, but they're fewer and far between. But you can always find a good mullet. Like today on the beach, I probably saw 6 or 7.
Holy shit, 6 or 7?
Yeah. The mullet game is strong on Pensacola Beach.
Oh man, that's pretty insane. Because like that's something I haven't seen since I was a kid. Like anyone actually rocking around with a mullet.
Yeah, I'm probably exaggerating a little bit.
We have the mulletino back home.
What is that?
The mulletino, it's like the Hispanic dudes with it's like a mullet, but then it gets like long and curly toward the end. It's the mulletino.
Oh
It's all-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So this dude posted it on Facebook, and the father said he's been receiving threatening phone calls since the viral video of his son, and he said his son is a fisherman and would never do anything to hurt a pellet. What? I don't know about any of this.
Oh man, it's too much.
Idiot. Good thing the Pelican got away. That's the important part. Shaquille O'Neal officially named a Florida deputy.
Why?
I don't know.
They're just somebody watched Still a couple of times, and they're like, I think he'd make a good cop.
We need him on this force.
Yeah.
Basketball legend Shaq goes by many nicknames, and now added to that list is Deputy Shaq. The big man now works as an auxiliary deputy with the BSO, the office said in a tweet on Friday morning. So I had to look up auxiliary deputy. Can you take a guess as to what that is?
I have no idea. It's no idea.
It's basically an honorary deputy. It
Okay.
means he is not a police officer whatsoever. He's just like a volunteer police officer. And apparently he did something very similar back in 2016 outside of Atlanta. So, like, it's good,
Okay.
you know, like, it's positive
Good.
if he's trying to make a difference in the community, even though I guess when you are just strictly an honorary deputy, I don't know exactly what you can do.
I don't get the honorary deputy or the like honorary college education that they just give to celebrities. They're like, you have a degree for being awesome. Like,
You have a degree for paying us $500,000 to let you get into the college.
that's exactly what it is. It's so ridiculous. But an honorary deputy, especially Shaq, you know, I don't know. Could you, granted though, if I were a criminal and Shaq walked up to me to arrest me, I'd give up. Like, that's a mountain of a man.
He seems like he could impart good wisdom on people. I don't know what it is. There's something very like grandfatherly about Shaq.
Honestly, like Shaq's kind of funny, but like he's actually seems like just a cool dude.
Yeah,
Like
he does.
like he seems like he's kind of like a big kid mixed with a grandpa all at the same time.
I can see that. I saw him on one of those late night shows. I want to say it was Jimmy Kimmel or something a couple weeks ago, and he just seems like a really nice dude.
Yeah, he seems like a good, decent human being. I mean, I don't know anything about the guy's personal life, but that's how he comes off in any interview I've ever seen, like a decent person.
He's also funny because after his basketball career, like he was totally owned the fact that he could not fucking hit the free throw. Like he did multiple jokes about his inability to actually be able to shoot a basketball.
And I just think his voice too, like the Shaq, that's pretty amazing. Like that just makes me smile every time.
I was
And
gonna
then
ask if you had a Shaq impression. That was good.
it's pretty decent. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he like doesn't really like, open mouth. That's how
Yeah.
Shaq. And then he has a Shaq Fu video game. They just released a second one, the
What?
Shaq Fu 2.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, man. He had comics. This dude's all over the place.
All right, we got one more Florida man story, and then we're gonna jump into our topics. Boyfriend lost at Epcot. Facebook users unleash mass humor to find him. So there was a girl and her boyfriend down at Epcot, just kind of like enjoying a vacation. He's got on a very distinct Hawaiian shirt, you know, very loud red and white Hawaiian shirt, and his girlfriend tweeted out. Weird post, but I lost my boyfriend in Epcot today and haven't been able to find him for hours because his phone is dead. If anyone sees him, can they tell him to meet us here at the Mexican Pavilion? P.S. I'm the one who's nervous here because I hate being alone. LMAO. He's probably off drinking. And of course, social media jumps in to say all sorts of really funny comments, starting off with, that shirt is very distinctive. Someone should be able to spot him. LOL. In just 2 hours, more than 1,300 people commented and nearly 700 Facebook users reacted to the post. Let's see, most of these commenting were making fun of Brittany losing her adult boyfriend at the World Showcase, but others truly wanted to help track him down. So Caleb, where was he at? Was he napping on Spaceship Earth? Was he lost in Nemo, drunk in Mexico, with another woman, with another man, counting pastries at Joffrey's, collecting magnets in the parking lot, stuck inside the globe on the lagoon, on the monorail to Magic Kingdom, in the line for Frozen, or leading a group of international tourists with a tall flag?
I'm thinking because it's a Florida man, it's him and another man somewhere.
That's a strong guess. She found him like 20 minutes before the park closed in the line at Frozen, which is funny. But one of the people that I really enjoyed was they were like, I think I spotted him. I did see a similar shirt, but it's a picture of Stitch from Lilo and Stitch with his little Hawaiian shirt on. Oh, shit. Pretty good. Have you ever been there before?
No, I haven't. I've been to the California, one, the Disneyland.
I've
But
never been there.
yeah, it's all right. It's cool, I guess.
Yeah, Epcot's pretty neat. It's more like educational, I guess. Like there's like they call it the World Tour or the World Showcase, and there's like 12 or 15 different replicas of areas of each of these different countries in there, with restaurants in each of them and alcohol and all that kind of stuff. So like you can go from Japan to Norway to, you know, all the way around to the UK.
That sounds fun.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's one of those places I would like to go eventually. Take the wife down and just, you know, hang out there.
I bet it's really, really, really nice in California compared to here. In the middle of the summertime, it's like 90-degree weather. Everybody is just hot and sweaty, and you have to wait in line so long for a lot of the rides that I don't blame people who absolutely hate it, but I just happen to I enjoy the engineering and all that shit.
It kind of sounds like California. Like California gets so hot in the summer, you know. It's, well, you guys have humidity, so I'm assuming it's worse because California, you know, get triple digits, you know. But it's not very humid. It's a little bit of humidity, but it's pretty dry. But I remember, I haven't been since I was a kid, but I remember it being just so hot.
Well, yeah, similar experience, and people lap it up, dude. People pay good money to go do it. You get a little discount for living in Florida and all that, but you still gotta drive down there.
We went to Universal Studios about 2 years ago. The company I was working for at the time paid us all to go out there. And they're like, it was like a corporate meeting thing, but then they gave us time to just kind of fuck around in the park. And holy shit, that was boring. They gave us like 6 hours and we were done in like 2. We were like, okay, we're over this.
Oh, wow. Damn, did you even get on any rides in that amount of time?
No, we went on like 2, but the lines were so long. And then we're both chickens. We fucking hate roller coasters and shit. So we didn't. It's like for people like us, it's like, oh, there's not much to do. I'm not going to get on a roller coaster.
I don't like roller coasters. It's not because I'm scared on them. It's because of the motion sickness, man. Like they just jumble my equilibrium all off, and I walk around feeling like half sick and half lethargic the rest of the day. So I'm like, fuck that. If I do it, I'm gonna wait till the end of the day.
See, so they do freak me out, but I don't know if they freak me out in the anticipation that I'll probably puke my guts out afterwards.
I get it.
Yeah.
It is, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. My dad always hated going to amusement parks on vacation. He's like, can't we go to the Grand Canyon or something? And like, at the time I was like, that doesn't even sound fun. But now I like totally appreciate where he was coming from. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Me and my wife will like go to a city. We'll go downtown. We'll shop, go to nice restaurants. We're so like those bougie ass people.
It's good though. It's good. Yeah. I bet she was feeling it yesterday after being out that long.
Oh yeah, she didn't go out the second time. She was like, we went to dinner to start off to a nice steak restaurant, and then she was like, I'm not leaving again. Once we came home, we were like, we're gonna go home and rally and go back. And she was in bed and she's like, should I come? I was like, I already know you're not coming. And then like 10 seconds before we're about to leave, she's like, maybe we should go. I'm like, well, our reservation is in like 2 minutes. So I don't know if you can magically get dressed, put on makeup in 2 minutes and still get in an Uber in time.
Yeah. If not, see you later.
Yeah. If not, I'll see you in 1 a.m.
All right. Well, so I was thinking about a topic to discuss, and in my limited experience, I only know about so many years, but I was kind of curious, like if you could, who you are now as a person, go back and visit any year in the past, what year would you go to?
So my question, I want a clarification on this, because am I like rebooting my life with all the knowledge that I have from a certain point, or am I just going back and visiting a year for just a certain amount of time?
You're basically packing your bags and headed off to that year to spend the year there.
Okay, for a whole year, I'm going to be stuck in a year.
Mm-hmm. And it's coming from where you're at now. Now that I gave you the clarification, I'll kick it off because I did think a little while about this. There was a big part of me that wanted to say 1992. But America wasn't necessarily in the best place in 1992, but there was some cool shit like Street Fighter 2 in the arcade and a bunch of stuff like that I was like, oh, that'd be fun. But I settled on 1989. First, because I'm a huge T-Swift fan. And also, yeah, no, seriously, I was like, 1989 was when the Berlin Wall came down, which it doesn't really mean all that much, especially in America, but it was just like symbolically, it felt like the world was heading in this really like utopian direction. Plus the Sega Genesis had just now come out. Super Mario Brothers 3 had just now come out. There were arcades and all of that stuff everywhere. Music was really good. I don't have the charts in front of me, but I know like George Michael's Faith was really big on the charts and a bunch of really good music. But I just like, as a 7-year-old, I got it from a very specific experience, and I would like to go back as an adult and revisit those things. I don't know if it would hold up, obviously. That's the big question, right? Is it just nostalgia? But I just feel like shit was cool in the 80s, man. I'm really a mark for a lot of that 80s stuff, and I just think that like going and checking out all of those things from a new perspective would be pretty awesome.
I wonder if it would damage some of your interpretations of
It would
some of the
have
stuff.
to, right?
Yeah. Like some of the stuff you think would be cool when you're a kid, and then you go see it as an adult and you're like, oh, this is kind of lame.
There would have to be quite a bit of that. I wonder, like, I don't know, but the arcades and stuff were super cool back then. And it's just like we were
I used
right
to
at the
love
dawn of
arcades.
technology. You know, it's like, I know now what's coming down the pipe, but back then it was just like, it felt like technology was advancing so freaking fast. We were like right on the cusp of all of it. I mean, home gaming consoles and all of that had just now gotten as big as they were. So I don't know. I think I could rock it for a year and be comfortable because it's not taking all of the like if I went to the 1800s or some shit, that would be cool for like a couple days and then I would be over it, right?
So, yeah, and you're going solo on this one too. It's not like you and your wife, right?
Correct. I
Okay,
didn't
because that
think
would
about that part.
change my my answer drastically. But since I'm going solo, I'm gonna do the exact opposite. I want to go to something that is so outside of my comfort zone. Not like 1800s. I don't want to be, too horrible, but I would definitely want to be a place like the 80s. Yes, it's a very different time, but it's still modern history
Yeah,
for me.
sure.
Yeah, I was born in the 80s. I kind of remember it in the 90s. I at least remember the 90s very well, which wasn't that different from the 80s. So me, I think I would do like 1945, 1943 in
That'd be
America.
cool.
I think just to see what the world was like during World War II. Obviously, I wouldn't want to be in the war, but like as far as an American citizen, just living a day-to-day life, I think it would be miserable for an entire year. I think I would hate it I think I'd like it for the beginning, but by the time I got back from my vacation, I think I would appreciate a lot of stuff now in modern America that you didn't get to see. Plus, the whole thing of like history is written by the victor type of thing. Like
Sure.
you'd really be able to see truly what it was like, not what this romanticized version of like 1945 would have been.
That's a really good point because it is viewed almost like through this, almost like propaganda. I'm sure it was then too, but you're coming with the knowledge that you have now. So I think it would make it. I think that'd be really cool, man. I like that answer. I thought about going further back, and I just didn't really know where I would go. That's why I was kind of like stuck in my lifetime where I could say conclusively, was it good or was it bad? But I think the 1940s would be a really interesting time because it was right before the birth of like the idea of the nuclear family. You were kind of coming on the tail of the roaring 20s and 30s and prohibition and all of that kind of shit. I think it would have been a pretty cool time to see.
Going seeing like cinema during that time would be a fascinating thing. Like getting dressed up and going to a movie during that time is unreal. Like going and watching Abbott and Costello. It's an entire experience, I'm sure.
We got Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Lethal Weapon 2, Ghostbusters 2, yikes. Dead Poets Society, of course, Batman, Do the Right Thing, Parenthood, what was on the top charts? Paula Abdul, fucking Bryan Adams. Classic. Gotta love some Bryan Adams, but Paula Abdul's good. And
Paula Abdul, the only song I ever remember of hers is the one with the cat.
the
Hell's the name
which
of
one
that?
was that?
I can never Paula Abdul cat. I'm searching cat video. Opposites Attract.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
That's
a good
the
one.
only song I would recognize from her.
I was just now thinking, Straight Up. Straight up now, tell me, do you
Oh,
really
you're
want to
right.
love me forever? New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough. There's a good one. Richard Marx, I'll Be Right Here Waiting for You. Beastie
I bet
Boys.
too, if you went to the 80s, you would, there'd be a lot of things that you're like, wow, that's really different, like little conveniences. But I think you'd be shocked how similar it is still today. Like
That's
as far as
fair.
people, I think it would be kind of like, oh, it wasn't this very different time, it was like, it was very similar.
Dude, but I would just bust out my baggy acid washed jeans.
Yeah, get a what's it called? Get a Trapper Keeper or whatever. What's that girl with like all the pastel stuff?
Lisa Frank.
Lisa Frank, get your Lisa Frank, all that shit.
Eat pizza at McDonald's. What the fuck? I don't remember that being a thing.
I've never seen that. Like, I mean, granted, I was, 5 when the 80s ended, but I do not remember. Do you remember pizza at McDonald's?
Never. No, I didn't. I didn't know that was real. I thought that was. Yeah, that's news to me, man.
It might have been a regional thing because, McDonald's has regional things.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like,
MGM Studios was opened in 1989, which we just kind of talked about all the parks down in Orlando. MGM was cool because it's like the studio backlot of MGM back when they were producing movies, and there's all these cool like movie related rides on it and stuff. And I remember the first time going to there just thinking that place was amazing. There's like a park within the park that was a Honey I Shrunk the Kids land where you're like walking with all the big giant animatronic ants and fucking 30-foot tall grass blades and stuff. It was kind of neat.
I remember that. I remember seeing videos of that.
Well, let's go
You
ahead and
know,
move on to your topic. We'll go ahead and knock
my
that one
topic,
out here shortly.
absolutely ridiculous.
I like
I
it.
was just thinking, because I feel like the last couple episodes, my topic has been pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It's all been like about race and stuff. So this one I was like, what is something ridiculous to talk about? And I thought, would you rather fight a 20-foot tall giant or 10 2-foot tall dwarves?
You want me to take the lead on this one?
I want you to, yeah, I'm very curious to hear your answer.
I mean, just strategically, you got to go for the giant. You got to try to take out the giant, and there's so many reasons why. First of all, though, you can't cover your 12 and your 6 at the same time. So if you get surrounded by a mob of little angry dwarves, they can like overpower you, come from all different directions. Where I think if with the giant, even though obviously its strength is going to be exponential of your own, you go low. You try to get them like from the legs down. And once you get them off balance, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And you can keep your sights on this one giant. Granted, if he hits you with a haymaker, it's probably going to kill you. Where you could probably take a couple of licks from a little from 10 2-foot guys. Did you say 10 2-foot guys?
Yep.
Oh, damn. Yeah, in my mind, these little 2-foot guys were a lot bigger. I don't know. I'm still going to go with the big one, but honestly, with 10 2-foot guys, if they all swarmed you at the same time, you would probably be in trouble. But if you could just like stay clear enough to just kick the fuck out of each of them as they approached you, then I think you'd be good.
Well, they're not going to fight you Bruce Lee style. They're not going to like circle you and then run in one at a time.
They're not going to fight me like extras in a martial arts movie, huh?
No, they're not doing that. They're all swarming you, definitely.
They're all right. Yeah, I guess I'm going to stick with my original answer.
So for the giant, do you go straight for the nuts and like speed bag them?
Yeah. I mean, or if you had a baseball bat or something. Hey, are we talking about bare fisticuffs here?
fist.
Oh, see, that
Yeah.
makes it tough too. But yeah, I think you go for the kneecaps. I think at 20 foot tall, I don't know that I could get to his dick or his nuts.
I think you could. His nuts aren't 20 foot tall. His head is. He's got like giant legs, a head up here, and nuts right underneath them.
I'm thinking about like a Ryu or a Ken. What is that punch called?
Like a Hadouken?
Yeah, like the Hadouken. Straight up spiral upward and punch him in the nuts. So, yeah, I mean, you'd have to, right? That's the only real way you could go, or try to trip him somehow.
So I flip-flop back and forth. I was like, because I did the same thing. I'm like, well, one person I could take on, but then like 10 little fuckers coming at me is going to be pretty rough. Little teeth and nails everywhere. That's pretty.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you could get enough of a circle around you to where you're just constantly turning and decking dudes, I think I could take out a 2 foot tall person in one punch. Like I've
Yeah.
dropped a grown man in one punch.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, 2 foot tall is kind of hard. Like you're punching down at that point, especially at my height at 6'5".
You don't
Like,
punch, man. You don't punch. You kick them like little fucking soccer balls.
True. His aim straight for the head. What about grabbing one by the feet and spinning around in a circle?
Yeah. It's like using him as a baseball bat.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
using no weapons.
It would be really hard to sustain a punch by a 20-foot tall thing. But
you
we're
could
sitting
probably
here talking about it. Like it would be like if you were the 20-foot person having to take on 10
10
regular sized people.
Oh, you bring up a good point. That'd be like 10 humans fighting a 20-foot tall giant. We could probably take him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably.
I want to
Now,
hear
if
what you guys think. Whoever's listening and checking out this podcast, let us know down in the comments section and what your strategy would be.
Weapons, does it change it at all if there's weapons involved?
I mean, yeah, dude, doesn't it? It changes it dramatically.
Me, then I go giant, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, with a good baseball bat, you just go straight for the shins. Can you imagine how bad that would hurt? But then again, if we got weapons, then the little 2-foot guys could come at you with baseball bats.
Yeah, I was gonna say they all have weapons, like they all have knives, and you got a sword. Like I think I would have to go. Like, that's terrifying. 10 little knives, little stabby bastards jumping on you. You'd be gone pretty quick.
I think I would put myself up against a wall. That would be my strategy, so I didn't have to cover all around me 360 degrees. At least I would have them all coming from the general same direction, but that might not work out well for me either.
Building, you could run down a hallway and somewhere where there's a choke point, so they can't just come in as quickly.
Yeah, bottleneck them.
Yeah, and then you might be able to take the little fuckers pretty good.
Man, this is really kind of like the kind of stuff that I'm gonna mull over for a little bit longer.
Yeah, this is the random weird shit that I love to talk about. This is something you get drunk or high, and then you have like a really in-depth conversation that makes no sense about.
Oh yeah, for sure. Apparently Paris Jackson ended up in the hospital.
Who?
Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's kid.
For what? What happened?
I was trying to look it up. Said she attempted suicide is what some source said, but then she tweeted out like it's a bunch of lies. I'm sure all of the crap that's been stirred up lately has not been helpful to her mental health.
Yeah, I probably. I mean, I don't know what that does. Being raised by someone in that level of limelight, being raised in that, and then tabloids. I'm pretty sure it's awful.
All right, well, let's end on that positive note. What? Give me a happy thought before we wrap this thing up.
I just want to hear what people have to say about tweet out people are terrible with your hypothetical giant versus dwarves scenario. I want to hear how this goes down.
And you guys make sure that you are subscribed to People Are Terrible on Twitter. You can find us anytime over there. Caleb, you're going to be pretty much holding it down over there for the foreseeable future anyways.
Yeah, I'm canceling my Twitter account, so my normal one.
Caleb's been canceled.
Canceled.
Fucking canceled. All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later, man.
Bye.